Super Street, the game, the official release date. Yes, welcome back to the channel, fellas. Welcome back to the channel, fellettes. It's official. Mark your diaries. August the 3rd, 2018 sees the worldwide release of the much talked about Super Street magazine game entitled Super Street, the game. Right then, lads, right then, chaps. The official press release article reads, today, Lion Castle and the world's largest automotive media company, the Motor Trend Group, announced Super Street, the game will be available worldwide for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC via Steam on August the 3rd, 2018. Super Street, the game is the first official game for Super Street, the world's #1 in automotive tuning culture. In this arcade racing game, you don't just buy a car, but you actually build it. You get to choose from over 500 car parts from the biggest aftermarket brands to customize your exterior, customize your interior, or customize your performance and go from scrap to supercar. You get to take your ride to the streets and use it to tear up the asphalt in 5 unique districts. You get to feel the thrill as you risk wrecking your car to bits at every single corner and creating spectacular crashes. We go back to the core of the old school arcade racing genre, delivering exciting and fast-paced automotive action for everyone. Those are the words of the executive producer Anthony Kine. Super Street, the game, will feature both online multiplayer as well as old-fashioned split-screen multiplayer. Super Street, the game, will be available digitally in stores for $49.99 on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC Steam. So now we know exactly what we're working with in terms of ballpark figures for pricing. Now, looking at this press release, there are so many things to talk about here, so many things to discuss. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. First and foremost, any questions over whether or not this was going to be a circuit or a track-based racer with simulation elements have been completely and utterly clarified and cleared up here. They've referred to their product as an arcade-based racer, and I'm pretty certain that is going to put a smile on many people's faces. Well, definitely put a smile on my face anyway. Now, we can also confirm there is a working crash physics model here. There is active damage in-game, as the article was obviously talking about how it's possible to smash your car to bits at every single corner. For me, this is pretty damn important and pretty damn impressive as well, because as we've seen from previous racing titles that have come out this generation and previous generation for that matter, damage physics is something that the community likes to see. It's something that's requested and something which gets called out on when it's not implemented in what we're considered to be a meaningful way. The thing is though, the task of putting a racing title together, be it simulation-based track racer or arcade open world action adventure, it doesn't matter. It's hugely difficult. It's a massively difficult task, mainly because what you've got is different manufacturers, whereby you've got different agreements and people having different agendas and opinions, different sets of do's and don'ts, different sets of rules that are allowed to be followed or have to be agreed to before you can feature certain brands within your game. We've already seen evidence of this down the years in relation to things such as customization. If we look at customization, we all know that if you get a Ferrari in a game, you're hardly going to be able to change any bits on it whatsoever. But if you get one of the cars from Nissan in the game, like the R34 Skyline or the 180SX, they're a lot more relaxed, they're a lot more welcoming of such changes being made to their cars aesthetically. And what you end up with is what I like to call a workable imbalance. A workable imbalance is basically where you've got a whole load of cars that have got loads of parts that can be changed and chopped, or chopped and changed rather, getting all my words confused today, apologies. And you get certain cars whereby you can hardly change any parts of them. A great example of this can be seen in Need for Speed 2015. Now, the reason why I call it a workable imbalance is that obviously there's an imbalance there, but it's workable. You can still have customization as a concept within the game. When it comes to damage-based physics, you can't have a situation where you've got 10 cars that can be smashed to pieces from different manufacturers, and then you've got another 10 cars that are not allowed to have any damage whatsoever. That would just look, it would look beyond stupid. It would look ridiculous. It's just not feasible. It's not a workable imbalance. It's not workable at all. You can either have it or you can't. So what is the quickest, most efficient and best way to get a workable damage model within your game in 2018? Quite simply, remove the people that can hold you to ransom, remove the brands, remove the manufacturers, and have no licenses. This brings me on to my next point. In the very short 3-second trailer we can see of that car skidding around the corner, clearly we can see it's a non-branded vehicle. Now, here's the thing, I'm not very good at distinguishing my American muscle cars very well. I'm not good at it at all, so I'm going to need your help here. But from what I can see, it looks like a mix-up. It looks like a monster mash of potentially maybe a Camaro with a little bit of Mustang in there as well, and maybe something else. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, it's similar to the GTA way of doing things, whereby you've got maybe 1 or 2 or 3 different types of body shapes all rolled into one type of car. But then at the same time, we know this game is all about building. The strapline for Super Street the game is build your legacy. They also talk about how you actually need to go out and build your car up rather than buying it. So it could be that this particular person has just actually put parts together themselves to form that car, rather than it being a stock car put together by the development team. Now, if you're on my channel for the first time, I do welcome you. I've actually been covering Super Street the game for a little while now, and I actually put out a video, a thought-provoking video, talking about the benefits versus the limitations of having a non-licensed car model within the game. The link to that video will be in the description, as well as at the end of this video. So if you want to see a little bit more about that video, have a little look at it, and obviously don't forget to jot your thoughts in the comment sections there. Admittedly, that video mainly focuses on the customization benefits, but the more I start to think about it, the more shots I start to see of this game, the more I start to realize that there are more benefits to be had here. Obviously, we've just covered the fact that the damage model is a benefit. However, if this game is all about building your own car, if it's all about putting your own car together using not only internal parts, but I'm guessing exterior body panels as well, there's no way on earth that a brand like, say, I don't know, Honda are going to allow you to take the front end chassis of one of their cars and attach it to a Nissan. There's no way you're going to have Mitsubishi turn around and say, oh yeah, by the way, you can take our famed rear spoiler setup and then go and attach it onto a car that has the Subaru blob eye headlight arrangement. That's just not going to happen. Do you realize the amount of legal ramifications? No, it can't happen. It won't happen. And that's the reason why, if you are going to be building up your cars from scratch, it makes absolute sense to not have licensed car manufacturers on board. Now, for those of you who don't know, don't panic, don't worry. There will still be some big name brands in Super Street the game. There are hundreds of different types of car parts. These car parts will be ranging from interior steering wheels and audio setup kits to things like coilovers and brake pads and other mechanical bits and pieces here and there. Brands such as Brembo, I think Sparko, and if I'm not mistaken, G-Ready have all been confirmed, with many more to follow. Now, personally, from a personal point of view, as a big fan of customization and building things, I'm pleased about that. I'm happy that the game is still going to have some sort of authentic feel about it, even if we don't have real car manufacturers on board. To me, this is actually more important. It's something that gives the game its own character, it gives it its own individuality, it sets it apart from every other game out there on the market. So yep, I'm definitely happy about that. Now, just going through the article again, an area that basically opens a lot of points for discussion, debate, and a lot of intrigue is where they're talking about different types of environments. Now, 5 different types of environments. I have absolutely no idea what this could mean. There are so many different possibilities here. What are we talking about? Are we talking about surface types? What, asphalt, off-road, sand, forestation? Are we talking about that type of environments, or are we talking about environments in terms of driving disciplines, drift disciplines, crash disciplines, stunt disciplines, drag disciplines? Who knows? Now, looking back at it, those are probably all of the positive things that I can pull from this press release. I appreciate this video is coming out a few days later than everyone else's. There's a good reason for that. If you're a long-term follower of this channel, and if you are, massive thank you to you, you will know that I don't sit on the fence with anything whatsoever. I do not tread carefully and ensure there's an element of logic behind everything that I say. If I praise a company, if I praise a game developer for something, I'm not just going to say it because everyone else is saying it. I'm going to give you my logical reasons and breakdown as to why I feel they're in credit on a situation. On the flip side, if I feel a company has done something wrong, if I feel they've done something crap, if I feel they've flopped in a certain area, I'm going to speak on it, I'm going to criticize them, but I'll do it in a constructive way. I've always been like that, and I'll continue to be like that. There are 2 things I've got a problem with here. 2. The first is that for me personally, and I dare say for many of you guys, that trailer, I'm not even going to call it a trailer because it wasn't. It was a teaser. I feel they should have put out a trailer. If you look at the release date for this game, we're talking what, August? Early August, in fact, August the 3rd. It means we're less than 2 months away from its release. By now, I feel we should have at least a 30-second trailer put out so that people have a good idea of what it is that this game is about. I think they need to bear in mind that this is a new IP. This is a brand new product that's being pushed out. It's not a legacy brand like Need for Speed. It's not a legacy brand like even The Crew. Even though they've only had one previous title, they can still be considered a legacy brand because they've got a previous title. The Forza franchise is another great example of this with their Horizon brand. All three of those brands, to a lesser extent The Crew obviously, already have what's called credit in the bank in the mindset of the consumer, because the consumer has a good idea of what the product is going to be about come the next iteration of it, due to having previous knowledge and experience of the product in question. In this modern day and age of technology and marketing, nothing sells your product better than a video, than a trailer, than moving based images. And I don't mean 2-second GIFs, I mean proper detailed videos, 30, 45 second, maybe even 60-second trailers, a series of them, 3 or 4 of them, just showing different elements of the game. Because what you're doing essentially is you're telling us to pay $50 or pounds if you live in the UK for a product which is launching only about 6 weeks after The Crew 2, 6 weeks before Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a Rockstar game, so it's just going to cannibalize everything around it, and around about the same time probably as Forza Horizon 4. If I was opening up a shop tomorrow, I'm not gonna tell you the prices of the clothing without showing you the clothing. I don't get that. It will infuriate people. Look, Super Street, listen, I know you're watching this video, guys. Let's sit down, me and you, around a table, face to face, Bourne and Super Street. Forget all these people watching the video. I want your game to do well because you're trying to offer something different. I'm a huge fan of people going out there and trying to be different from the rest, rather than just offering a mundane title which is bland and just copies convention. I want your game to do well, I really do. But for heaven's sake, start showing us some footage. Make no mistake about it, guys, I am pulling your card. Please, the people need to see what it is. You've put a price tag on it now. You've confirmed and put a price tag on it. People need to see why they should go and shell out £50 around a time when there's going to be so many other products coming out. I'm in a situation where I'm not debating whether or not I'm going to buy The Crew 2. I'm debating what version of the game I'm going to buy. Am I going to buy the deluxe edition, which is around about what, I think £70, don't quote me on that, or am I going to go for the motor edition, which is around what, £80, don't quote me on that either. But the more money I invest in that product, the less likely I am to go and invest heavily in another game so shortly after it's released. Do you not see? Oh, my head. Aye, aye, aye. Super Street, marketing team, look me in the eyes when I say this. It's time to lay your cards on the table. This is coming from a good place, okay? This is constructive criticism coming from a good place. Please take on board what I'm saying, and that's just about all I'm going to say on the matter for now. Anyway, if it's your first time around here, I wish you a Bourne welcome. Please be sure to check out all the other games, all the other videos I've done covering Super Street the game thus far. And yeah, drop your thoughts and comments below, man. In the meantime, I'll see you when the next video comes out. Take it easy, peace.